Hello, everyone. It's good to be connecting with you again. It's interesting that this day that I'm speaking is Wednesday, isn't it? May 3rd. And the Surgeon General, you probably have heard, he gives reports through the years, whoever's the Surgeon General. For example, years ago, they spoke about the danger of smoking to somebody's health. And raised that issue, and so many people gave up smoking because they realized it was detrimental. Well, most recently, in fact, this very day, he gave out a document on public health crisis of loneliness, saying that this was just as detrimental to people as obesity or as smoking or as not exercising. That's kind of surprising. I want to read a little something from this, and if you want to read more, just Google loneliness Surgeon General, and you'll see many writings about this that he brings forth. And anyway, I'll read this part. Today, the United States Surgeon General, Dr. Murthy, released a new Surgeon General advisory calling attention to the public health crisis of loneliness, isolation, and lack of connection in our country. Even before the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, approximately half of U.S. adults reported experiencing measurable levels of loneliness. This connection fundamentally affects our mental, physical, and societal health. And he points that out. There's a whole nother page that this isn't just some passing fancy. He's just thinking, well, there's a few lonely people. He lays it out. It's a huge issue today. Many of you may be experiencing that, or if not you, a family member. And it goes across the spectrum. There are young people that are feeling lonely, even in high school and certainly in the 20s. There are older people feeling lonely. Possibly, they've lost a spouse or a good friend, or they've moved away from where they had connections. But it's an issue we all need to look at. Now, what struck me when I read about it, and they were talking about, and you can read some of the different remedies, it helps, very positive helps to bring people together, to foster social connection, to get people to be relating with other people on a regular basis, that they could enjoy their company. But in none of the great recommendations does it bring up faith or spirituality or church. And that kind of struck me, because I know, I've been a priest for 49 years, and through the years, I've seen many lonely people find friendship, find hope by a connection with a church and a connection with God. For those of us Christian, a connection with Jesus as someone who is there always with us. At the same time that we not only need faith in Jesus, but faith community. It's interesting today, the number of people going to church regularly in almost any tradition, including our Catholic, has gone way down. And at the same time, so many more people feeling lonely. Not that that's the only cause, but when the Surgeon General didn't even bring that up, I thought that's an important missing piece that we recognize. And because, just to use one example, a few years back, and this is just one of many examples that I'll touch on. There was a fella that, he was in his mid-30s, and he came to the parish and wanted to talk, and he was somebody who had gone to church growing up, had been at a Catholic school, had a lot of connection. Now he was in his mid-30s, he wasn't married, he drifted away from the Catholic Church, like a lot of young adults do. And didn't think anything of it. He just, it just wasn't relating with him in the same way he thought, especially from his grade school days. So he didn't go. But then he decided, looking inside his own life, and said, something's missing. And he really just came to talk to me. I don't even thinking at first it was about spirituality or faith. He just knew that I was somebody that you could easy talk to, that he'd be encouraged. And so when he did talk, I brought it up as a question, not as a mandate. I said, well, you got away from church, you got away from prayer. Is there anything there that may help you out? And we talked about it for a while. And I said, well, why don't you give it a chance? We have a number of different activities in our parish. Maybe you can meet some people, relate. He did that. He came to a retreat. He came to some other community activities. And he also came back to a prayer life, believing, yeah, Jesus was somebody real who was a friend and was always there for him. And I can tell you the difference that's made. I know he's told other people, encouraged other people to look into this. So is there an issue? Loneliness. Probably a lot of ways that people can hopefully find help. But I really would say, even though the Surgeon General doesn't say it, look to faith. Look to faith community, especially a parish community that you can find, or a church that fosters a lot of coming together. Consider that. And finally, I'd say I hope the media and other sources, including doctors, would also say, yeah, we ought to recommend considering a faith community, considering, prayer as two powerful ways to help people move out of loneliness into a real sense of loving presence and relationship. I've seen it do for many people that can lift people up once they've been deflated and gone down. Give it a chance. Give the Lord a chance. Great place to find wonderful, good, lifelong friends. Thanks for listening. Hope you're relating right now with people who mean a lot to you.